It's Natasha from Medicare Rocks and Mcpherson Insurance. Today I'm here to tell you what the heck is Medicare Part D. So let's get into it. Before Medicare Part D was signed into law in 2003 and launched in 2006, Medicare beneficiaries had very few options to help cover the cost of their prescription medications, which were rapidly rising during that time. What was available to them was group and union coverage, retiree coverage, Medicare Supplemental Plan J, which only offered catastrophic coverage, and to self-insure. But today, 77% of all Medicare beneficiaries are enrolled in a Part D plan. Medicare Part D is a voluntary benefit, meaning that individuals that qualify do not have to enroll into it. But to enroll into it, you must have Part A and Part B. It's only offered through private insurance companies and is available as either a standalone plan or combined with a Medicare Advantage plan, often referred to as an MAPD, standing for Medicare Advantage Prescription Drug. Benefits for Part D plans change each calendar year and provide coverage for both generic and brand name medications. Beneficiaries can only enroll or change plans during a valid enrollment period, which is initial enrollment period, which would be 3 months before the month that they turn 65, the month that they turn 65, and 3 months after they turn 65. Annual enrollment period, which could be October 15th through December 7th each year, and benefits start the following January 1st. Also a special election period. These are specific situations that can happen throughout the year and are usually tied to change in current benefits. Some of the most common special enrollment periods for Part D coverage include loss of group coverage, loss of credible coverage. This would be prescription drug coverage is at least as good as the Part D coverage, change of residence, and qualifying for extra help. Premiums can vary widely for Part D coverage depending on whether or not the beneficiary has a standalone Part D plan or a combined MAPD plan. All standalone Part D plans will have a monthly premium and will vary by carrier and state, and some MAD plans offer coverage for a 0 monthly premium. All PDP and MAPD plans will offer 3 methods to pay for premiums, including automatic monthly bank draft from a checking or savings account, a monthly coupon book, or an SSA deduction. Keep in mind, if a beneficiary elects to pay their premium from their SSA check, they may be required to pay the first 12 months premium directly to the carrier, as there can be a delay in processing. Even though Part D is a voluntary benefit, if there is a delay when you first are eligible to sign up, you could be assessed a late enrollment penalty. This could also be referred to as an LEP. The LEP is calculated using the national-based beneficiary premium and will permanently be attached to the beneficiary's Part D coverage, regardless if they have a PDP or an MAPD plan. For each month after your initial election period has ended, that there's a break in coverage for 63 or more days in a row, you will be penalized 1%. The national-based beneficiary premium for 2022 is $33.37. So what is credible coverage so you don't have to pay this fee? Well, it would be something like employer or union group coverage, retiree coverage, VA coverage, and state pharmaceutical assistance programs. Each year, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which is also referred to as CMS, releases a standard benefit for insurance companies to build their plans around. In the standard benefit, there are 4 coverage stages: deductible, initial coverage limit, coverage gap, which you might hear a lot about, which is also called the donut hole, and catastrophic coverage. The yearly deductible is the amount that a beneficiary must pay out of their pocket before the plan starts to pay their share for covered medications. Deductibles can vary between plans, with some plans having no deductible or limiting the deductible only to specific drug tiers. However, no plan may have a deductible for more than $480 in 2022. The initial coverage limit is a combination of what is spent by the beneficiary and the plan for covered medications. This amount is $4,430 in 2022. The ICL is important because it will determine if the beneficiary will pay their copay or coinsurance for their monthly prescription drug during the year, if they will enter the donut hole where coverage changes. Essentially, you can consider the ICL to be the total retail cost of the beneficiary's medications. For example, let's say a beneficiary spent $600 in copays during the ICL and the plan spent $3,830. which would be a total of $4,430. And now that means the client would enter the coverage gap with only $600 in out-of-pocket spending. For the coverage gap, the donut hole, once the beneficiary and the plan have spent $4,430 on covered drugs, they move into the coverage gap. During the coverage gap, they will pay no more than 25% of the retail cost of their covered medications and will pay these amounts until they spend $7,050 in out-of-pocket costs. Based on our previous example, the beneficiary has already satisfied $600 of that cost during their initial coverage limit. So they would need to spend another $6,450 to move on to the catastrophic coverage stage. During the coverage gap, the amount beneficiaries pay for their medications, the 25%, and the discount they're receiving on brand name drugs, the 70%, will count towards their $7,050 limit. For example, let's say a beneficiary is in the donut hole and has a brand name medication that retails for $100. At the pharmacy, they're only spending $25 out of their pocket, but $95 is going towards the $7,050 limit. On the other hand, their $10 retail cost for a generic is costing $2.50 at the pharmacy, but only $2.50 is going towards the $7,050 limit. So once you've hit the $7,050, you would go into the catastrophic coverage. Once the beneficiary has reached the $7,050 in out-of-pocket cost, they enter the final stage of their plan, which is catastrophic coverage, and will remain there until the end of the calendar year. During the catastrophic coverage phase, beneficiaries will pay the greater of 5% of the retail drug cost or $3.95 for generic multi-source brand drugs, and $9.85 for all other medications. And this is as of 2022 when this video is being filmed. Each Part D plan has a list of covered medications called a formulary. This list will include both brand name and generic medications and must cover at least 2 options for every therapeutic class of drugs. In order for a beneficiary's plan to cover their prescriptions, they must be included on the plan's specific formulary. In the event a beneficiary is prescribed a medication that is not on the plan's formulary, they can request a formulary exception to have the drug covered under their plan. If there's a high medication at a high tier and it's unaffordable for the beneficiary, they can request that drug to be moved to a lower tier by requesting a tier reduction. Both of these requests are handled on a case-by-case basis. Each Part D plan will have its own network of participating pharmacies that plan members must utilize in order to have their prescriptions covered. Some plans utilize a preferred pharmacy network, meaning specific locations in the plan's directory may offer covered prescriptions at a lower copay or coinsurance. Unless it's an emergency situation, prescriptions that are filled at non-network pharmacies will not be covered. Also, plans offer the option to have medications delivered through a mail-order pharmacy. Extra Help, also known as Low Income Subsidy, which you may see referred to as an LIS, is a benefit provided by Social Security for Medicare beneficiaries with limited income and resources. If someone qualifies, Extra Help will provide financial assistance with their Part D plan, including monthly premium, late enrollment penalties, annual deductibles, and co-pays and co-insurance, and help with the coverage gap. Beneficiaries should reach out to their local Social Security office for more information and to apply. Or you can also apply online at ssa.gov/prescriptionhelp. When it comes to Medicare, it's important to work with someone who can assist you through the process, who will make things easy to understand and less time intensive. My office is knowledgeable regarding Medicare and the different working parts of it. We also utilize state-of-the-art software that tells us about the Part D plans in your area, what plans will and will not cover your prescriptions, and how much you'll pay for the year, what may or may not be available to you financially regarding Medicare in general, as well as aligning your moral and social values with your care. With the Medicare annual review, there will be no surprises when it comes to your health care during the year. You can schedule some time to chat with me by clicking on the link attached with this video. I hope I have answered some of your questions, and if you have any more questions, please feel free to contact me. I am here for you, and remember, my assistance is always complimentary. Medicare agents are compensated by the plans they represent. We are not compensated by you. So, thank you for allowing me to explain Medicare Part D to you today.